Have you heard people say things like thing and this and that and all that when they speak? You know, this thing and all that kind of thing. Why do people say this? Because they don't get that word at that point of time, or maybe they don't have the word, they don't know the word. So it's because of the lack of vocabulary here. So what do we do about that? We're going to discuss that. But what's the effect of not knowing this? Look at this. Two situations. One with your friends, one in a very formal, official business setting. Even an informal business setting. With friends, it's fine. Your friends will understand, your family will understand when you say, okay, this thing, that thing, great. In fact, this is not a very uncommon or strictly related to the non-English speaking group point. Even they say that. So you have words like thingamajig and thingamabob and doohickey and whatchamacallit, lots of words. Okay, so let's not really fuss over that, but my idea is to improve our vocabulary. So go to the second situation where you're in an interview maybe, and then you start saying things like this thing, that thing, bob, thingamabob. Yeah, your prospect goes for a toss. Okay. So we don't want that to happen. What I'm going to suggest is a very easy way to improve your vocabulary and avoid this thing. Welcome to TLW, the English Workshop. My name is Manu. Why do you need to increase the vocabulary? Okay, one is to avoid those problems. They're called the placeholders. So try to avoid placeholders. Put the real words in that placeholder. So what's going to be the benefit? The first benefit is you are able to sharpen your English. Okay, number one. Number two, you're able to appreciate what the other person's saying. When I say appreciate, I don't mean well done, boy. I mean understand what he's saying and get the feel of it. Third reason is you can also express yourself properly, completely, and in a refreshingly rich manner. All right, and that's going to smoothen your communication, going to make you more fluent and rich English-wise. Okay, now one very important way, and I think this is the easiest way if you ask me, to improve your vocabulary is to read a lot. Keep reading, read. All right, now I can easily hear some people out there saying, I read about a book a week and my vocabulary is still bad. There's a way of reading, and we're going to look at this way of reading. How do you read? And what do you do while reading? What do you do after reading? Let's look at that. First, what is it that you want to read? You read what interests you. Number one. And number two, you read books or articles or whatever on the subject that you are involved in. Say you're an accountant, you're going to read accounts books on accounts, not necessarily accounting, but maybe speeches. You listen to the speeches by accountants maybe. So they use those words that you need in your profession. So you read medical books, articles on medicine, listen to the doctors and scientists, etc., and you get those words. And these are not the professional jargons that I'm saying. The common words that you need to speak, that you need to use every day. And if you go out of your professional world, and I think about 70% of anybody's vocabulary is professional, is based on their profession. The rest 30% is what you learn in English. So you also watch a lot of other movies and all that, read a lot of books for that. So what I'm saying is not necessarily restricted to reading. Read, watch, okay? And when you read or listen and you come across a very unusual expression, unusual word, new word obviously for you, write it down. And if you're watching, let's say the YouTube or something, pause that. Go back, play it back maybe, and listen to the whole thing once again. Once you get that, you try to guess the meaning. That's the second thing you're going to do. You've written it down, right? Guess the meaning of that. Put that meaning in another paper somewhere. You've got to maintain a book for this. Yeah, this is the very elaborate procedure, but if you want to improve your vocabulary, it has to be elaborate, but the effect is going to be like this. All right? So guess the meaning and then continue listening or continue reading. But see how it's done, okay, how they've used it. Once you've got a list of expressions, words, or your maybe phrasal verbs or idiomatic expressions and all that, and listen, if you're listening to something, listen to the way they used it, the way they pronounced it. Pronunciation is very important. And if you're reading, write it down. You don't know what the pronunciation is. Second step, go to a dictionary. I prefer to use the online dictionary. My favorite is dictionary.com. I go there. It gives you everything. It's very cheap as well. And type in the words, listen to the pronunciation. Listen to that and repeat that maybe 5 times, 10 times till you are familiar with that. You don't have to write down the pronunciation if you can't remember it, otherwise write it down in your own way. You don't have to use the International Phonetics Alphabet, the IPA. Then you write down the meaning as is given in that dictionary. Check whether what you thought was right. If you're able to understand the meaning from the context, then great. If you can't understand the meaning, obviously it means you can't feel the context and therefore you can't feel the meaning. Then get the meaning, put that in the context, and that'll give you the feel of the word. And it's very important to get the feel of the word because you're going to use it afterwards. Because see, your expressions are the expressions of your feeling, your emotions. You draw the picture in your mind, describe it in your own words, that's the English language bit, and you express it, that's your communication. Help the other person understand, get the same picture as you have, that's a part of the communication bit, expression, and helping the person get the right picture. And that's where the communication ends. Vocabulary enriches that, makes your communication easier. So you need to get the feeling of the word and the context. See, that feeling should be there. Develop that feeling as you. It's not simply like know the word, like learn it bar road, repeat it 50 times, 100 times. You don't get the meaning. You need to get the feel of the word. All right. Once you get there, you've written the meaning of that, you got the pronunciation. Third thing was the spelling. If it's a weird word, what's the spelling? Spelling is very important. Does it have a double letters? Is it whether you have pronounced every letter or not? If you link that pronunciation with the spelling, and that also helps you get the feeling of the spelling. Language is all about feeling. Feeling your emotion, all right? So get the spelling as well and feel the spelling. And once you get the spelling, the fourth thing you've got to do is find out if there are any other forms. Dictionary.com gives you the different forms of that. So the same word, and then you find out if it's a noun, what's the adjective, what's the adverb. Can you form adjectives and adverbs, and can you make it into a verb? If it's a verb, can you make it into a noun? Different forms. And what's the plurals of that? If it's a plural, what's a singular? Is it count noun, non-count noun? These are going to help you get the feeling of that word, get the feeling of the meaning. And then you find out if there's any collocation. What's a collocation? Collocation is when 2 or more words go together always. For instance, if you say listen, you have to say to. Listen and to always go together. A handsome man is a better collocation than a handsome woman. Okay? You can't do, in Old English you have, she was a very handsome lady. No, but nobody says that. A handsome lady, a handsome maid. Handsome always makes me think of a man with a mustache and all that. Those tightly ironed clothes, not standing straight, like the chest puffed out and all that. All right, and one more thing you have to notice is the register. What is the register of that? What do you mean register? Register means, can you use it in a formal sense, or is it an informal usage, or is it a neutral usage, the neutral register? Neutral registers is the kind of register you use when you write, see, those how-to books, how-to literature and all that. It's a neutral register. So what's the register you're going to use it? Once you've got these things down on in your notebook, start using that. Repeat that word, get the meaning, start feeling it, and see the way that was used in that book or the audio that you heard or the video. Use that once, repeat that sentence maybe 4 or 5 or 6 times. Then see how you can use that in another situation, maybe related to your life, closer to your life. Get some other situations outside, the book. I'm not going to give you an example right now. Try to use this situation outside this word or expression in the outside world. 3 or 4 or 5 examples. That's going to help you, retain it. And this will be with you for, I think, around 24 hours. Yes. So what you do is, you try to use it the next day and the next day for a week. Once you use it for a week, that's going to remain with you for another 30 days. These are all scientifically formulated figures. I'm not pulling it out of my pocket. So, and then start using it every day, and that retention will be with you for longer and longer and longer times. All right. So I'll tell you one thing, how to understand. If I say, for instance, that this chair is beautiful. Okay. Now, if I don't know the meaning of the word beautiful, and somebody said this chair is beautiful, and I'm looking at it and saying, okay, this chair is blue. Blue. I know it's blue, okay, because my language is limited. Blue, great. He said beautiful. So I'm like, does beautiful mean blue? I ask this question because I can't get the meaning from the context. So the sentences normally by these really good authors and all that use these words in a context. And that context will be very clear from the way they use it. So you read the books that you love to read on the topics that you love to read on, okay? And that's going to help you improve your vocabulary. And this is so easy that you read one book let's say over a week. Take one full week to read the book. Follow all these procedures. In a month, your vocabulary should increase multiple times. I'm not going to give a figure, but yes, it's difficult to put a figure on that, but it will increase a lot of times. So maybe if you have 5, you'll become 10 or 15 or 20, I don't know. And over a year, you'll have a very good word bank, a very huge word bank. And you should be able to use that also regularly. Share this video. Appreciate your listening to it. Thank you so much for being here. And let others also know this. And if you like this, hit the like button. And let's say see you in the next video.